Guys, kind of what was perceived to be a slower week in sports. The sports drama never seems to leave us. Something that came out last night, Aaron Rodgers, who has been rumored to be leaving the Green Bay Packers since the season has ended and since the season has begun, the 2021-2022 season has begun, he's been rumored to wanting to leave the Green Bay Packers organization. And last night, he released a post on his Instagram basically thanking everybody in his life. He thanked his now ex-fiance, Shailene Woodley, I believe her name is. He thanked Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, David Bakhtiari, some of his closest friends, backup quarterbacks that he's had in his career. Matt LaFleur, I believe you get a shout out to as well. And just basically ending it off with just a roundabout statement of, thanking everybody and sending all love and peace to everybody that has helped him along around his career. And so I don't know if you guys have read the post. For those that are watching, go to Aaron Rodgers' Instagram right now. Go look at his post and give us your thoughts on what you perceive it to be. Is it a goodbye post from the NFL? Is it a goodbye post from the Green Bay Packers? How did you guys interpret it if you have read it?
I interpret it as a goodbye post to Green Bay. He's 38. He can probably play another to his 41, 42-ish. I think it was more he wants to leave Green Bay, but it's saying goodbye to Green Bay because he's taking such a huge cap hit on that Green Bay salary this season. I'd say he's gone. I think he's looking to go, like Tom Brady, somewhere warm. Me and Tom were on the phone yesterday. He did mention maybe Denver. I mean, the only other person that did it was Peyton Manning. But I don't see Aaron Rodgers going from Green Bay to Denver. I think Aaron Rodgers personally wants to go back to his roots in California, play with the 49ers. They have a pretty young team there. I'm sure he can excel with that organization and then only get maybe a ring or two, probably one, and then retire on a high note. I think that's what he's aiming for. I think there's too many question marks in Green Bay with his injury with Adams. Is Adams up for contract this season?
Adams, we will actually be discussing that later.
Okay.
Game's kind of jumping a little bit. He is up for a franchise tag potentially. So the ball's in the court of the Green Bay Packers upon what they want to do with Devontae Adams in his future moving forward.
So with that in the balance, I think with them drafting a quarterback last year or the year before, I think everything's adding up in my mind. Aaron is done in Green Bay, which is unfortunate because at least for most of my football career, I've known Aaron in Green Bay. So I think he's done in Green Bay. He goes somewhere to warmer weather and retires like Brady does. Play a few seasons, then calls it quits.
Hank, what about you? What are your thoughts upon this Aaron Rodgers post?
So I think we know at the very least there's no chance he's coming back to Green Bay. He openly complained about his lack of support in the Green Bay not getting enough weapons, and then I feel like it all came to head once they drafted Jordan Love in 2020, which I still can't completely wrap my mind over. But I'm looking at this now. I actually have it a little bit up in front of me. He has a lot of I'm very thankful stuff. I don't know. Saying I'm thankful for a lot of stuff and making a post that seems deep like that, I think that sounds like he's done with football after that. I don't know. That's just me. Because, sure, maybe he does want to leave Green Bay. Maybe he does want to go somewhere warmer where the grass is always greener and have a better Super Bowl contender around him. But given all that he's been dealing with, whether it be him fighting with, or not necessarily fighting, but getting into arguments with management, maybe him dealing with the media after the whole vaccination fiasco and a lot of stuff, I would not be the least bit surprised if he called it quits.
Yeah, Hank, I kind of got the same feel that you got. And it wasn't, aside from all the gratitudes that he had, because obviously he only spent his career in Green Bay, so he was thanking all of his teammates, obviously thanking some of the coaching staff. But what stuck out to me a little bit, and I don't know if I'm over-interpreting it, is that the team in which he's highly perceived to go to is Denver, like James alluded to. Yeah. And in his caption, he thanked not only Matt LaFleur, but he thanked Nathaniel Hackett, who's now the new coach of the Denver Broncos. And I don't know if this is just me overthinking it, but do you thank the guy in sort of a gratuitous statement that you're perceived to then join that squad? Like it's almost like a goodbye statement. To me, this feels like a goodbye statement from the NFL. That's what this feels like to me. Now, would I be shocked if he goes to another team? No, but we also got to remember the structure of this as well. Aaron Rodgers isn't officially a free agent, right? Any move that would have to happen, he would have to be traded.
Well, no, he has an opt-out clause.
He has. So then why is it that Green Bay would have to? No, Green Bay would have to trade him. I'm almost positive. I know they restructured his deal, but I'm almost positive that they would have to trade him. That's why everybody's saying, "Oh, get him over to get him over to Denver, get him over to here," because it would be a trade of some sort. And I don't know if that's because of the fact that they'd have to make the cap work in some magnitude. So maybe a sign and trade. I don't know if that's a thing in the NFL. I know it is in the NBA, but with his contract, and if he is, and let's say he is a free agent, right? He could choose his own destiny, right?
Mm.
Maybe this is his saying goodbye. Because like you alluded to, James, in terms of Green Bay, any team in which he goes to, he's only going to be making even more money than he already was. And that's going to take a huge portion of the salary cap. Now, Denver is a team that has the chance to afford something like that. But even at that, are you investing in a 38-year-old, 39-year-old, granted, just won the MVP, quarterback to play for your team, let's say in Denver? Because this is my perception, right, with the whole argument about Denver being the premier spot. I never saw that. If you are a guy in the NFC who has dominated the division for the last decade and a half, why would you choose probably the toughest division in the entire league to go join and attach yourself to with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr? Why would you do that? That to me makes no sense, especially as a 38-year-old that's not here for the rebuild. He's here for the win now situation. To me, I always perceived it as if you are going to stay, you're going to stay in the NFC because that's where you could win, especially now that Tom Brady's gone. When you really break it down, guys, let's say Aaron Rodgers re-ups in Green Bay. Him and Matthew Stafford are really the only threats necessarily in the NFC. I mean, Russell Wilson is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but with the team around him, how much can you really count on them to make a serious run? Not really. And outside of that, I could be, the Dallas Cowboys continue to fall short. The Cardinals we're seeing are having some issues between Kyler Murray and the organization. So what other quarterbacks scream out to you in the NFC that are on the same level, if not better, than Aaron Rodgers and a Matthew Stafford, who Matthew Stafford is, yes, coming off a Super Bowl championship, but a lot of those Super Bowl pieces are leaving as well and are getting older. So who knows what the Rams are going to be moving forward. So for me, like James alluded to, I think the 49ers are the perfect space for him to go. Why? Because before the draft night in which they drafted Trey Lance, the night before they were looking to trade for Aaron Rodgers, which means to me they had no faith in any quarterback they were going to take the next day. I'm not saying that Trey Lance cannot be a good quarterback in this league, but when you're telling me the night